Welcome to my brain. Hello, hi everybody. I see the notice just popped, and I am glad to have you all here. Thank you. I am working with some technical issues because I was trying to get a second camera up, and it didn't work. But because I am creative, I can figure this out. So thank you very much for joining me for this about a deck casual preparation that I do. So let's see who's here. The lovely Ginger Faye is here, first in the house, and Ginger Faye and I are. I'm a guest reading with her right after this. I hope you can all hear me. Can everybody hear me okay? It's just weird not having another person with me. So I'm watching. So if you see me doing this, it's because I'm looking at my phone. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello. Hello. Thank you, Jane the Seeker. Jane the Seeker, lovely to see you. And Michelle Shining Light can. Yes. Okay. So I am going to be as logical as I can as I go through this, because again, this is an interesting idea because many of you who have watched Deck Casuals will go, I have said I do a fair amount of preparation for these, and you expressed interest in wanting to know what I do now. So therefore, we have a casual about preparation for Deck Casuals. So going to say hi to some people. This is because there's so much wonderful chat. I have missed all of the other stuff, but hi, Tangi. Glad to have you here. Pamela is here. Hello. I love it. Smash that like. Kelly is here. Hello. And Jane the Seeker is here. Howdy, everyone. She's got it. She's got it. Brian, Blushing Nerd Tarot, is here. And if you're not following Brian, you might want to do that. He started a new series where he's looking into different tarot cards and doing a deeper dive. So, okay, so just catching up. Patrice is here. Hello, Patrice. Glad to have you here. Thank you. Good to see you. Hugs to Vernetta. Pamela said I got my open face tarot along with the little Normand Lenormand. They are cute, and of course Brian is lurking and working, so we encourage that. Okay. So I think the two of you, are you going to get together and play with those cute little decks? I think they're just wonderful. Did anybody get this? Backstage, it's really loud and chaotic. So Silky is here. Hello, Silky. Excited to be in my brain. Well, it's interesting, that brain. So I just hope it all makes sense to you and that I pace myself with the conversation. Deanne, Blue Crescent Tarot, is listening while she works. Beth is here. Hi, Beth. Michelle Shining Light. Tarot, Sandra, the Whispering Well. And Patricia Tyree, hello. And thank you for letting me know you can hear me. Look at all of us. I know, you're brave souls. You're brave. You're brave. So getting caught up. Okay, so Tangi is lurking because she's fixing her wheel. I'm assuming it's a shopping cart wheel and not the wheel of life, the seasons, or the wheel of the year, or anything like that. So, okay, just jumped. So, all right. And Tony is here. Antoinette, Intuitive Tarot and Jewelry. Hello. I enjoyed you and Sandra talking about the deck that you did on Sunday. That was great. Jane the Seeker is making her famous pasta salad and will be in and out. I will already bid for seconds on that. So, yeah, a casual about casual. Yes, hello, overcomplicator, overachiever. This is me in a nutshell. So, all right, getting caught up. Chris, hello. And Elemental Cartomancy, I am going to be on his channel the first Thursday in August it's going to be my third visit to roundtable readings, so I'm looking forward to that. He said I could come back, so this is cool. Rosemary is here, Good Journeys Tarot, and I will be on Rosemary's channel on Wednesday talking about the Santa Muerte. Rosemary's got a series called What's So Great About, and it's the Santa Muerte. So, Micah is here. Hi, Micah. Yes, this is the casual about casual. And how did I prep for the casual? Oh, gosh. Okay, wait a minute. Is this a casual about prepping for casuals? My question is, how do you prep for the casual about prepping for the casuals? Well, I'll tell you this right now, Chris. Get inside my brain. I have a page and a half worth of information specifically about how I prepare for deck casuals. And this started soon after people had asked about the casual, how I do it. And so over the two last deck casuals that I did, I wrote down what I did and I tried to put them together. You seem calm, Gerald. Are you calm? It's just us. I'm trying. So thanks for the good vibes, people. If you have questions while I go through this, please, by all means, put them in capitals so I can. Oh, we are next week. Yes, we are next week, Chris. That's cool. I just jumped. So, oh, Micah got a new deck, but I can't film it till my replacement phone arrives. Cool. Debbie Aquarius Al is here. Hello. Yeah, I take this stuff very seriously. So, of course. And I even created banners, people. So, now, for those of you who might come along and do a deck casual with me, this is how I prepare. Other people who come on my deck casuals do not do this type of preparation. This is me because this is what I need in order to feel comfortable and to feel ready. So, but okay. So are we all ready? And again, if you have questions, so these are the things that I consider as I prepare for a deck casual. And the banners that I have are all things that I will ask about or will share about when we do a deck casual. So the first thing is which version or edition of the deck do I have and do my guests have? Because sometimes there's a difference. For instance, this is something I'm using for an example is I'm using the Sasarabito Tarot, the Tiny Traveler. So this is the Tiny Traveler edition. So I'm going to be talking about this. And as I think about it, like the Spacious Tarot, there are a couple of different versions of that. There's indie versions of decks. So I do keep that in mind. Ooh, wait a minute. Okay. So Connie B is here. Hello, Connie B. Oh, Jane the Seeker says she punts. It's a casual chat. Did somebody ask us? Somebody please educate me on what does casual mean? It's just a silly little thing, Michelle Shining Light. It's a chat that's casual. So I sort of, I strung them together. So, and okay, did you back the myth and legends? I might want to do a live. I did not back the myth and legends. So Manasa, wellness. Ooh, is this a new channel name? Tarot Living with Manasa. So hi Manasa, welcome to Lurking. Brian said, side note, I recently went through the second camera adventure on StreamYard. Happy to troubleshoot with you sometime. Thank you. You're welcome, Michelle, and I'm sure everybody explained that to you. Tortoise Shell Moon is here. Nancy, I believe. Ack is here. Hello, Ack. Good to see you. And it is a new channel. There you go. Wellness, Manasa Wellness. People, I love it. I love it. So, okay. So one of the first things that I look at is which version or edition of the deck that I have, because that informs me if there's going to be any differences, and that could actually be really engaging. So the other thing that I look at, and by the way, I am going to get into the process, but these are things that I do look at. What's the box like? Is it a tuck box? Did it come with extra bling? Is it a, look at me, I am, does it, so I want to talk about the box because that matters, especially, well, it matters to some people, and it's something that I do consider. So I like to be able to share that with people. So I'm going to go over to chat and see. Jamie is here, Wandering Mountain Bardic Path. Jamie is with me tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern, where we are going to do a deck casual of the Tarot of Feeling. And that is going to be with the deck creator. And here, y'all know me. Here you go. Andy the Wildflower, the deck creator, Crochet Witch Tarot, and Jamie, Wandering Mountain Bardic Path. We're doing a deck casual about the Tarot of Feelings. So, okay. I was surprised, one of your recent deck casuals. How many versions of Morgan Greer are they? It's Kathy. I actually have two. I have the 1 in the 10, and then I have a vintage one. I think there is a regular size one that came out. Somebody in chat might be able to help me with that. So I think about the guidebook, or I mean the box, and surprise, I do think about the guidebook, or the little white book. For instance, the Sasarabito, okay, comes with this, the Sasarabito Tiny Traveler. The larger Sasarabito comes with a something like this as well, except it's not on the it's not as nice paper that's going to last for a while. So, and then we have something like the Journey of the Sacred Bee, where we have a little bound book, and I'm curious about what's in it, and I will talk a little bit more about that. Catching up with chat. I hope I will be able to catch the live tomorrow. Yes, thank you. It'd be great to have you here. If you do have questions after I go through my initial things that I look at, and as I'm talking about my process, I will put them in caps, put some emojis around them. Jamie says, I like meaty, chunky, full of stuff guidebook, like the Terra Avatara has. I am a fan of guidebooks because I especially like guidebooks that will get me in the head of the creator and allow me to have some nuances with understanding the cards. I don't, I've been reading tarot for over 25 years. I like the explanation of what the creator was thinking about while they created it. I know people who they get a deck is only available as a set where it has the book and then the cards, and they immediately sell the book without looking at it. So it's like, ooh, okay. I'm this is the way I am. So um, so I'm less with that one, though. Bonefire, however, is much better. Oh, in my opinion, for the Terra Avatara, the Gabby Angus West. So I'm gonna take a sip. I feel like I'm talking really fast. So Aspasia Rising says, yes, I love guidebooks that explain why the creator created as they did, everything, backstory, and all. That's me. Some people don't like it, and some people they don't need the guidebook. Uh, this tiny traveler, little white quarter of a page, just gives some really basic information. So it trusts that you are going to be able to pull in your intuition as you read through it. So, um, and okay, so now the other thing that I look at is I look at cardstock and I also look at edging. So I'm going to start with cardstock because one of the things that I do, and you'll hear about it, is for me, reading tarot and is a very sensual experience. I want my senses to be involved. I light incense, I burn candles. I like to feel the shuffle of the cards in my hand. So I want that. Um, Thank you, Chris. I'm not taking it too fast. I want the experience. I want a pleasant experience. Now, the Sasarabito, the Tiny Traveler, I love this cardstock. It is a linen cardstock. I am a linen cardstock fan. I love it. I am not a huge shiny. Um, I'm not a huge fan of shiny cardstock, especially because I'm a riffle shuffler and they sort of just go everywhere. I don't have a lot of plastic uh, decks. Jeffrey just got a plastic deck that someone gave him, golden something tarot, and I was starting to, I bridged it to riffle shuffle it, and it just exploded, and it was like, oh, okay, this is how we are. So, um, and ah, Tony, Antoinette, Intuitive Tarot, and Jewelry said the Unfolding Path Tarot is just a folded piece of keyword paper, which surprised me a bit. I did back that one, so I'm curious about it. I do set the mood, Jane, and part of what I do is I set the mood because it helps me to really connect. Um, well, go into lurker mode, Jane, and I'm hoping that everything works out and you can get your machine. So I'm not a fan of glossy cards either. Yeah, well, and the other thing is from a practical standpoint, for when I'm doing a deck casual, they're really hard to show because they glow, they shine the light. This is the Journey of the Sacred Bee. I like this cardstock. It's a solid cardstock. So, um, but yeah, just catching up. No extremes for me. I don't want them matte, so matte that they clump, and so shiny that they slip around. Yes, I agree. Um, Cardstock, lots of people have feelings about it. I'm glad they're your feelings. And that's where in a deck casual, we talk about it. Why do you like that? What do I want? So I'm sort of sharing a little too much. So I'm telling you what I like. Also is is the deck edged? And tell me about that edging. So, for instance, the tiny traveler is not edged. And gee, I'm thinking, do I modify it? Do I actually put a black edge on it? Do I do that? The Journey of the Sacred Bee has this lovely edging on it, and it works quite well. So I like an edging that adds to but does not take away from the experience of shuffling the card. Um, so, and Deanne said she didn't say hi to everybody, still working. So, Deanne, you keep working. You keep working. So, edging. So, if you like edging, what kind of edging do you like? And that's something that, as a guest, where we talk about the decks, we'll discuss about it. So, sometimes I get snippy. I also take into consideration card size, and I do a comparison. Oh, here's a little bit more into TarotStache's brain for those of you who are still here. I actually have this. This goes into my these are all of my stash tags for all of my lives, so I'm pretty much ready for everything. And I actually have all of these things on a piece of board, so, or on a little card, surprise, little card, to help me. But I also compare everything to this. This is the original Rider-Waite Smith, and so I can actually tell people, I can hold it up and go, for instance, the Tiny Traveler. This is how big it is, because most of us know that. And then I do something like this. So you can see, oh, wait a minute, that's better. So you can see that this is the size of the Journey of the Sacred Bee. So looking to see who came in. Well, hi, watching while you can. Thank you, Candy, appreciate it. And Jamie prefers matte edging versus shiny cutting cards. And Beth, Espazio Rising, I actually prefer to no edging, although 5 Cent Tarot has really nice edging, not shiny. And 5 Cent Tarot is probably one of my most favorite cardstocks. Love it. Love it. So Candy saying hi to everybody. Scent is lush. Sandra, also, the Whispering Well, prefers a matte edging. And we all love you. And yeah, well, okay, so you're interested. And am I buffering? Chris said, is anybody buffering? Okay, we're back. Okay. Moonchild edging. I don't know that one. I don't know that one. Oh, a linen fan. Yeah, I can see that. Debbie, did I say hi to you? Debbie, I'm not sure. So yeah, I actually have these. This is together with all of my stuff. So when I have a deck casual, this is what is sitting on my table, not oh, and this sits actually in a special slot. So on my lovely little stash card holder, which is just really a coupon holder. And then I don't have to worry about this. Now I will take notes as I look at things. So okay, Gerald is ready for the zombie apocalypse. Well, sometimes. Okay, not buffering, not buffering. Okay, Calla Lizzie, hello, good to see you. Okay, so card size, and then I also I'm going to take a drink while shuffleability. It's like, okay, you'll learn that I mean, the prep that I actually do for a deck casual, it usually takes me 3 to 4 days. I have certain things that I do, and I do them in a certain order. So, but I want to know, are the cards shuffleable? Shuffleable, is that the word? What's it like to shuffle the deck? Is it easy? Does it work with my hands? Does it work with my, if I had tiny hands, anything like that? So, um, oh, Patrice has got some loud storms. So, and Dippity Doo is here. Hello. Hello. And shuffleability is maximum important. Yes. It really is, because and I shuffle the deck in multiple ways as I'm looking at it. I will riffle shuffle because that's my tendency. I will overhand shuffle. I'll sort of wash. I'll try it in multiple ways. So, um, is Sandra and Tony still here? If you are, please type in here for that. So. Yeah, shuffleability, because and actually, I think that for me, the Sassorabito Tiny Traveler is really a great shuffle. So, but again, it depends upon it gets me in my space. Okay, okay, Tony is here. I'm waiting for Sandra. I think Sandra is still here. Jamie, look away for a minute. Jamie knows what I'm going to do. So, but so anyhow, this is as a result of watching Tony and Sandra's live. There you go. I've got the tiny hands. I got the hermit's hands. Do you like that? See, googly eyes. All right, Jamie, you can look back. So. Calla Lizzie, I riffle, then overhand, then riffle, then overhand. I do that a lot. I actually have a process of those. Okay, good. Tony got it. Good. Jane was laughing. Lisa Stevens is here. Jamie was prepared, so that's excellent. So again, these are the things that I do because I'm hosting a deck casual. I'd like to be able to have a little bit of knowledge on these things. So shuffleability is very important to me. So here's another thing: is the deck bordered or is it borderless? Okay, Beth said the older you get, the more difficult it can be to shuffle those large cards. Yes, yes. Sassorabito Tiny Traveler is my favorite for just relaxing and shuffling. Perfect size. Linen, yes. Yes. So, and do we have to make it, and do we have to make it borderless? Do we have to make it borderless? No, we don't have to. Did I spell the word border right? Oh gosh. Okay, Debbie said, I love borderless. Oh, and do we have to make it borderless? Because there's some decks that come with a border, and it's like it's like the of course I am trapped in here. I'm not easily accessible, but the Druid craft, it's like, oh my gosh. I want to see the images, and do we make it borderless? So but so I'm a fan of borderless decks. I don't hate bordered decks. For instance, this is a bordered deck, and it works. So that's something that I consider. So Druidcraft needs trimming. Yes. Yes, I agree, Ginger, Faye, Tarot, and Divine Musings. Some borders that are very complimentary. Yes, this one, for instance, is extremely complimentary. It does such a nice job with that. So I agree because, yeah, and Jamie is a kind of person who will, um, she will actually make it borderless, and I will make it borderless, a guillotine. So you've all seen some of the stuff that I've done. Um, I did the bone fire. I think that may have been the first one that I did. So, um, okay, the Gaian border. Okay, the revival is very fine borders that do not take away from the images. That's good. The Gaian tarot borders. Uh-oh. So I used to prefer borderless, and now I find I prefer borders. Great. And that's something that's really important is, my taste can certainly change over time. So some just need less borders. Yes. Yes. I still at one point would love to design a tarot deck that is set up to where you could actually, it's set up to be trimmed how you want it. So if you do any quilting, a quilt border, there's a stopping border and there's other borders that just really, really make it beautiful. So, um, okay. So bordered or borderless. The other thing that I pay attention to is I pay attention to the naming of the majors, of the major arcana. We just did Jamie, Zane, Tarot Token Witchery, and Little Zen Crown, Jilly, and I just did a Intuitive Night Goddess deck casual, and the artist renamed the major Arcana. And does that renaming work? Does it not work? So I do pay attention to that, and then because before I do a deck casual, I will take some notes about, I'll answer some of these questions. So what is the change? And sometimes the change is really beneficial. And sometimes the change, harkens back to like the Tarot de Marseille, which is fine. It just has to make sense. It has to work for me. So I see some more people coming in. Julie Kushia Watts is listening while she works. Great, thank you. Calla Lizzie has never altered a deck to chicken, even putting an edging on it, really. So, okay, no judgment. I mean, no judgment. Well, not a lot. So, Deanne said, Blue Crescent Tarot, I tend to embrace cards as they are in terms of borders. Definitely have a soft spot for borders. Cool. And one of the interesting things about that is I don't think I've never gotten a deck and I went, oh my God, I got to get rid of the borders on this. So just catching up. I like the names, but honestly have no idea what I'm looking at if the image doesn't instantly tell it. Yeah, I agree. So my dog, okay, Beth is out for a walk. Bye for now. I did thwarp you. You're welcome. It's going to be a great week. Boom. Calla Lizzie said, it matters if they change it, what they change it to. I don't want to think about it too much. Yes. Now, I am not afraid to work at learning a deck and getting to know it, especially if they do have some variation. I'm good with that. But it has to be logical for me. So, okay. So next. So I'm looking at these, I pay attention to the strength and justice numbers. Is strength 8 or is it 11? Is justice 11 or is it 8? There's lots of thoughts about that. I don't have many thoughts about it, but I figure when I'm doing my deck casuals for you, you want to know which one it is, because I am an overachiever and I want to be of service so that you have that. I also pay attention to the court card naming, and because that is important because I need it to flow in a nice way because I will talk here in oh hang on. This is when my guest would actually start talking, and I couldn't figure out how to split the screen and actually do two people or three people of me. So, all right. In Paulina Cassidy's spirit song, the wands are acorns. It throws me every time. I that would throw me a little bit too because it just has to make sense. It has to make sense. And Tony said 11 and 8. I don't even notice anymore. I notice. Do I let it bother me? Not all of the time. Sometimes it bothers me, but it's all right. It's because, to be honest with you, it's because how I lay things out, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Um, yeah, this Calla Lizzie, this is the second time that I am without a guest. The first time was Ask the Stash, which was I felt like I was on 78 speed as a 33 and a third. So for those of you who do not know that, look that up. 78 speed. Ren is here. Ren is at work. Shh. Ren, Ginger, Manasa, and Brian and Deanne are all working. Shh. Don't distract them. So I'm looking at the court card naming and does it go. And I also pay attention to the suit elemental association. So are the wands fire or are they air? And whatever they've named the suits, does it make sense for my association with those? Um, because sometimes people they mix them up. Like acorns, that might screw me up a little bit. That might Gingerface still has 45s, so there you go. Um, Oh, I did see that part of it. I know 78 speed, my dad's records. There you go. Lisa Stevens said, I do like borders, especially if the artwork trails over them. Borders can frame the artwork, but if there are extremely wide borders to just fill in the space on the card, that is irritating. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I love it when a border is hand drawn and you have some fun with it. I love that. I love that. Elemental suits 40 elemental suit elemental association is important to me, and I notice it in the deck as I prepare. And this is where if I don't see it automatically or I can't figure it out, then I do go to the guidebook, and sometimes um, that works on the behalf of of the creator in the deck, and sometimes it doesn't. So like, is it arrows and bows in the is that the druid craft? That one gets me a little confused every once in a while. Protect my energy. AAC said yes. The acorn automatically makes me think earthly pentacles. So yes, Spirit Song Tarot throws me off also. There you go. So I know I'm in good company. I'm almost done with the things that I consider, and then I'm going to talk about my process. So this is something that is a direct response to having Mark Astro Tarot on my channel and the live that I did with Mark and Ben from Beneficial Tarot, the directional facing people. And so this is an interesting thing. Now it's in my mind. I'm paying attention to it because, it it's the wildwood. Okay, thank you. It's the wildwood that does that. So Peter J. Watts is listening in with Julie. Hi, everyone. Hi, Peter J. Watts. Um, So, and actually, when I'll talk about in my process, but directional facing people are important, or they can be important if you want them to be. And I believe that's something, if I remember, if Chris from Elemental Cartomancy is here, that was something that came up in the Tarot de Marseille studies for a while. It's like, which direction are they facing? Because that's a great way to help the cards interact. So directional facing people. Are there extra cards? Does the deck, does it have cards after, yeah, the world? And do those cards make sense? When you get a deck that has extra cards in it, do you keep them in there? And I'm not necessarily talking about the idea of different versions of a card. Like, I know that I've seen decks that will have multiple versions of the lovers cards. Hashtag I love that. Hashtag I want more of that. Hashtag give me the options. Hashtag overachiever. It all works. And like, is the devil and death card, do those have some varieties in them as well? So it's important to learn in Marseille, yes. And just catching up. Jane says she throws those suckers out. Well, Jane, don't throw them out anymore. You keep them. You send them to me, because I totally would put those into crafting stuff. I never give directionality a second thought until that Morgan Greer casual. Yep. And now it's all you see. You're welcome. You're welcome. So, is Mark here? Did Mark pop in? There he is. There you go. Seeing how the sausage is made, Gerald. There you go. Shh. So, but see, and this is one of the other things is I really do pay attention to these things. So the other thing is if you come to a deck casual with me, I'm going to ask you for your favorite cards, and I'm going to ask you to have no more than 10, because if it's just you and me, there's two of us. If there's three, well, then we've got to share that time. And if there's four, that's also time. And if the deck creator's there, I want to have some opportunity there as well. So that's something that I look at. What are my favorite cards? No more than 10. And yes, for those of you who have seen some of my recent deck casuals, you know that I'm the host. I can do what I want. Most of the time I let my guests do the same thing, so it's all okay. But I'll group things like together. Boy, all of these aces are really amazing. And we did a little bit of that last week with the Dream Vision Tarot, where we liked the court cards. So, and then the last thing that I look at for the actual deck casual layout is what are the cards that I need help understanding? And for that, I don't want more than 5. So trying to narrow it down. As it is, most of the time we don't get to all of those, and a lot of the time, because people are wanting to engage about the deck, they really like a lot of the cards, and there's no cards that they need help understanding. Or these are also the cards that maybe, it's like, all right, there we go. So, okay, I'm gonna stop with the banners. I'm gonna catch up. Everybody loving Mark. Yes, 10 never happens for me. It does not happen for me either. So, okay, wait a minute. My Hanson Roberts deck has a to all believers. I threw it out. I don't think I know that. Anyhow, okay. Everybody's saying hi to. Mark's here. Everybody's like, yay. So, okay. So those are the things that I look at. really specifically that I want to talk about for a deck casual. Now, this is where we get into the process. The process takes like a full page. So everybody take a sip. This is where if you have questions about my process, let me know. Capitals, thank you for watching. Thank you for people who are watching the playback. I appreciate that. Now, would it be helpful, let me ask you those who are watching this now, would it be helpful for me to put all of these things that I consider for a deck casual in the description? I didn't want to give it away initially, but please let me know. Okay, so the process that I use is the first thing I do is I, of course, you know, when I'm going into that, this is a deck casual frame of mind. There's some music cue in there or something like that. And again, please remember, this is how Gerald prepares because I am an overcomplicator and an overachiever. If you want to come on and do a deck casual with me, you do not have to do this. Yes, exactly. So, okay, Jane, thank you. Okay, so the first thing that I do is when I'm prepared for the deck casual is I open the deck and I notice the box and the book and my initial reactions. A lot of times I'll write notes down. It's like, what do I think of this? And so again, this is something I've probably used the deck. You know, yes, Jamie, call me out. I've probably used the deck. I've probably opened it eventually. And so I open the deck, I notice the box. Does it work? Does it, you know, am I going to get tuck box rage with this? And what's my initial response to the book? Is it a nice book? Is it in color? Is it in black and white? Love me a color book. Is it the same size as the cards? Is it thick? Is it thin? Is it a piece of paper? Is it something that the creator has written, or is it just something that the publisher paid somebody else to do that had nothing to do with the creation of the deck? So, and then yeah, Jamie is like, good. Yeah, you don't have to call yourself out. You do it all on your own. Then the other thing that I do is I actually I look through the stack. I look through the cards to make sure all of the cards are there. And that's my initial introduction to, you know, I notice that strength, it may be 11. And if there's extra cards, that's also when I look at the naming of the court cards. So, and it's not just a cursory thing where I'm just going, you know, where I'm just doing like this, where I'm looking. I'm holding them, I'm looking at them, you know, I'm doing this. I'm like, okay, I'm looking at it and I'm turning it over. So that just helps. So, so once I have all of the cards are there, then I shuffle the deck. And so I shuffle them 7 times. Right, Chris? Right, Justin? If you're watching, you need to shuffle them 7 times. And I riffle shuffle them 7 times. I overhand shuffle them. What's it like to shuffle these? That also will, oh, and by the way, in the initial walkthrough of the deck, this is when I find out whether I really like the gilding or I hate it. I had one deck, and I cannot remember what it is, but when I held up the gilding or the edge stuck together, I was actually holding like a stack of cards just with the top, and it was crazy. So, so I will shuffle the deck multiple times to get them all mixed up. And then I will actually go through and then I will start to look at each of the cards. And this is my initial reaction to the deck and to the individual cards. Sometimes I might be overachieving, where I will actually go, well, I like this card, I don't like this card, or maybe. So, and this is the first day that I do this. I will review the cards for my initial reaction. and sort of setting them up. Do I ever sleep with my decks? I have slept with some decks under my bed, next to my bed. I don't put them under my pillow because I don't want to cause any damage. Split them into 6 piles, 4 suits, quartz, majors. I do that a little bit later, so you'll get that. Thank you, Ren. Ren, shouldn't you be working? Carla Astrology is here. Hi, Carla. So then again, overachiever, that's my first day. I lay them out. This can take anywhere from 15 minutes to, I've actually had it last for 45 minutes because I was really, getting, I was diving, I was overachieving. I was looking too much into the cards and doing that. So again, so that first day, open the deck, notice the box and the book. What are my initial reactions? I'm looking through the deck to verify that all of the cards are there. And then I shuffle the deck. That lets me know about the shuffleability. And then I reviewed that shuffled deck and okay, do I like this? Do I not like this? And that's the one where I sort of just put them into two piles. I really like this, or yeah, something like that. Pamela also likes to see the aces together and so on. Shh. Pamela, you'll see me talk about that. Tony said, I'm too impatient to study a deck if I just need to, need to shuffle and go. Cool. So the next day, ooh, sip, sip. So the next day, what I do is I shuffle the deck. I go through all the shuffle it 7 times. I go through my routine. I riffle shuffle, I overhand shuffle. I'll actually cut the deck, put them back together. And this is where I really get to feel what's it like to physically manipulate this deck. And then I actually, so on day 2, I will put, this is when I look at the directions people are facing in the deck. And for that, I actually have, are they facing left? Are they looking straight out, or are they facing right? And then, so I don't know if you, anyhow, so left, if they're looking left, they're looking center, or they're looking to the right. And then below that, I will actually have a 4th pile, which is, are they looking in multiple directions? Because there's multiple people on the cards. And I go through that, and then I look at it, and then I consider it. I look at it. And then, of course, thanks to Mark Astro Tarot, I'm now going, well, is there a direction in the cards from like the aces? The hand is coming from the left. So I pay attention to that. And then I actually count the number of cards in each pile. And sometimes, I like to share that during the deck casual. Go, by the way, I did that with the Dream Visions Tarot. It's fun. So no one ever accuse you of not being thorough. Yes, it would be really handy if you put your prompts. I will do that. And Rosemary said, depends on the deck. I usually flip through, and if they all make sense, I shuffle and draw. But if they have weird names and images, etc., then I might have to study it a bit before I shuffle. So, yeah. So from there, so I've got them into piles. This is when on day 2 is as I actually review the book, and I like to read the introduction to the book and the dedication, because I want to know who has inspired this person, what's the artist approach. That being said, I also look at the format, and is it does it include, it's like Journey of the Sacred Bee. The majors have a picture, a black and white picture, and then on the other side there's information. On the minors, we don't have as much information. However, we do have the images, which is a nice thing. I am also particular about the font of a book. Am I going to be able to read this in regular light, or am I going to have to put on a lot of light? And do I need to get my magnifying glass out? I mean, because I am scarred for life. I am not a person who likes Arial narrow. We had that. It was a required font at where I used to work, and I hated it because, especially on a screen, it's really hard to read. So, and that's just me. Don't come for me for entertainment purposes only. Y'all have your fonts that you like. I don't like a narrow Arial narrow. Okay, I'm done. So, okay, so day 2, I shuffle, look for directional people, count the number of each card in each pile. And by the way, the cards that are the ones where, they're multiple directions, it's like the Lover's card. It could be the 6 of Pentacles. So y'all know what I mean. I'm overcomplicating it. And then I look at the book. So the third day, what I do is I will shuffle again. And this is where then I will put the deck in order. I will put the majors together and the 4 suits. And this is, I think, okay. Yes, the struggle is real. And I seriously cannot wait to get the B deck. I ordered all of them with the new Kickstarter. Pamela, that's great. Yes, I do. Stay tuned for that. So I have an overlay, and let me show you. Okay, so this. Okay, wait a minute. This is so. So I put my deck in order. I put all the majors together in the 4 suits, and for me, my suits run. Start in the east. So we have swords, wands, cups, pentacles, and I do start with the Fool at 0. And let's see if I can do the overlay. And then I lay them out. Now, I know Chris, Elemental Cartomancy, and I think Justin from Justin Michael were talking about how you lay the cards out. This is how I laid them out. And this is something that I did right after my technology couldn't work. You can see the top, the top right here. That's the Magician. And I put the Fool down below on this side. And then I go Magician to the Hermit. And then the next down is, I should get my tiny hand out and do that. And then I go the Wheel of Fortune through to the Moon. And then start again with, look at this. This is so weird. Then I start again with the Sun, and then end with the World. And the reason for that is because when I do the tarot birth number, I actually, these are all of the numbers that are associated with that. So someone could be a Sun, Wheel of Fortune, Magician. Somebody could be a Justice, High Priestess, a Hanged Empress, that sort of thing. So that's how I lay them out. Remember this, people, because I'm going to talk about that again in a few moments. So I like your number based on, oh, thank you. Thank you, Mark. And so from there is then, so while I'm doing that, I'm going to put this back up, because what I do is then I pay attention to what is the progression from one card to the next. Do I see a progression? Does there need to be a progression? Does the magician, how does the Magician relate to the High Priestess? How does the High Priestess relate to the Magician? You sort of get it. How does the High Priestess relate to Justice and to Judgment? And what are the relationships that happen along the major path? Because I believe there's a story with that. Hi, Sadhana. Thanks for being here. So I lay that, and then I set the Fool around to the side. So do the majors flow into each other? Now this is where what I will do is I will lay my minor arcana on top of those cards. So I will put the ace of the suit on the magician, the 2 on the high priestess, etc., until I get to the king, which is temperance. And once I lay all of those out, I then, what is the relation? What is the progression of the minor arcana? Going from the ace to the 2 to the 3 to the 4. And does that make sense? Is there a flow? And not just with the ace through the 10, but I also do it with the court cards. So after I've done it, I usually start with the swords. Then I will lay on top the wands. And I will lay the wands out in the same direction, and I will look at the wands. What's the progression of the wands? Then the cups, and then the pentacles. I think you're all following me. What I do again, hashtag overcomplicator, hashtag overachiever, hashtag it works for me because now I can. Because that's. I'm going to take a sip of water. That is how I learned to read tarot. I learned to read the minor arcana in the order. And when I learned, I was actually laying the ace through the 10 out of all of those suits, and then what's the relationship? So, okay, so is there a progression in the suit? The other thing that I pay attention to is do the court cards look like they are related? Yeah, Pamela's like, spoiler alert, yes. And that's something that's important for me is I want the court cards to look like they belong to the same family. So I'm going to, and I'm just using the Tiny Traveler. It's because what I have. So this page, is this page related to this knight? And is this knight related to this queen? And is this queen, do they relate? Does it look like, and in my mind, hashtag not endorsed by anybody else, I think the king and the queen gave birth to these, the page and the knight. However, not all the time. So I pay attention to that. Do these cards look like they could be at a family reunion together and belong? And that's actually significantly important to me because I get frustrated when they don't. And it's like, ooh. So, okay. People are still here, so thank you. And then, okay, so once all of the minors, yeah. I love the court cards in the Robin Wood for that reason. I love them too, and it is because that's basically how I learned. Pamela said, I'm a very organized learner too. I need to see the big picture and work my way through the nuances. And it's been years. It's been 2 years and I'm not even close. I rely on books so much. Pamela, books are great. I mean, it sounds like, you're studying and you're enjoying it. So I think that's wonderful. Then here's what I do, is then I will pick up the stack. Here are the ones. And so here are the aces. And what I will do is because I've stacked all of them, I have all of them stacked. I go, how does that ace relate to that ace? And to that ace? And to that ace? And then how does it relate to the magician? So I can very easily look at it and I can go, let's see if I can do this. I just dropped a card. How do all of the ones fit together? And what's the relationship between them? This is something that really helps me. So I have 15 stacks of cards, and then I will go through each of those stacks looking at this ace compared to this ace and this ace. And this is a great way to relate it to the major, because each of these stacks have a major underneath of them. Ginger Fay Tarot in Divine Musings. My learning deck was the Robin Wood Tarot. It was my Robin Wood Tarot. So I think everybody, you get the idea of that. So then I will go through. Do you get the idea of that? Let me take a sip, get caught up. So do those cards relate to each other? And for instance, we can look at the tens, and we'll do these backwards. Here's, wait a minute, we'll do these backwards. So here's the Wheel of Fortune. How does that relate to the 10 of Swords, 10 of Wands, 10 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles? And I will oftentimes, I want to see those together because, just for instance, visually, that actually could look like that because of the roundness. So, oh, cool, Mark. That's good. Yeah. So anyhow, so there you go. So that's the end of, let's see, is this day, let's see, 1, 2, 3. That's the end of day 3. Now, the last day, what I will do is, and I will shuffle all of them together. I will shuffle the deck again. Again, shuffleability, it's really very important for me. I don't know if it is for you. And again, I'm shuffling in multiple ways. I'm riffle shuffling. I'm rifle shuffling. I'm washing them. I'm overhanding them. I'm putting them in little piles and, overhand shuffling those. And it's just hashtag, it's really about getting my energy into the deck as well. So, I mean, that's part of what happens. So on the day, usually a day or two before the deck casual, I will sort into I'll sort into 4 piles. I'll sort my favorites. Sometimes you see a card and you go, oh yeah, that's totally it. I love that. And then the maybe favorites, and then cards that I have questions about, and then cards that I might have questions about. And that is one of those things that this can take a process, because I sometimes, and so, okay, so if my favorite stack, which is usually what happens, I've got like 20 cards in it, then I will actually go through that and I go, okay, really, let's calm down, Gerald. Let's not try to be an overachiever. If I had to take 3 of these out, which ones would I take out? And then, and so I will whittle that down. So I'll whittle my favorites and the questions that I have. Now, and then of course I'm going to have a whole, that's just 15 cards out of all of them. And then what I will do is the cards that I have questions about, or I maybe have questions about, I will read the guidebook specifically on those cards, because how embarrassing would it be for me to actually be talking to a creator and ask a question that's answered in the guidebook? I don't want to do that. So, so I will read the book about my questions pile. And then I will, from there, now it's getting ready to do the deck casual. Then I will put my cards in the cards in order. The cards are not my favorites or the cards I have questions about. I put them in order by major and then by suit. That way, for something like a deck casual, I like to be able to hold up the card because my camera is pretty good on this. And then I want to make sure that everybody can see it, because everybody has different camera capabilities. So, um, and then I actually sort my favorites and my question piles so that I can be ready for those. What is great about a deck casual, and this has happened, I believe, in every single deck casual, somebody will share a card that they really like, and it's in my I don't like pile, and that's okay. Everybody has a different opinion, and I love learning why people like the card. I also like learning why people don't like particular cards, because it helps to broaden my understanding. Um, and then um, and then a lot of times we're all loving the same cards, so it's just heaping praise upon the creator if they're there. So okay, so now that does not all of that is my preparation for the deck casual and getting to know the deck. That doesn't include what I tried to put into the description, because I want to give credit to the creators, and I like to tell people where, if they would like to purchase the deck, they can, but y'all know what's coming, right? Purchase responsibly, know your limits. And I'm also wanting to, I like that connection. So I'm wanting people to know where they can get a hold of the creator and see the work either on Instagram or YouTube or Facebook, as well as my guests. So, thank you, Ren. I appreciate it. Calla Lizzie, I actually am using my iPad. And that's part of the struggle that I had today, because I was going to have an overhead so you could see me actually working. You can't share your screen on an iPad in StreamYard, and I can't do OBS on a mobile. And I tried to put my phone, tried to link up to the phone, blah, blah, blah. Like one would disappear and then there's feedback and all that stuff. So, anyhow, hi, Joan B. Joan B is here. Hello. Now, somebody asked if I do a deck interview spread. Yes, I do. Sometimes if I've used the deck already, because a lot of times what I want when I do a deck casual is I like a deck that has been around for a while. And that I've had a chance to use, and that my guests have had a chance to use. And so I may have already done a deck interview spread. So, and I believe headache, Calla Lizzie. Yeah, thanks. Those iPads have good cameras. They do. They do, Kalaluzzi. Now, the deck interview, my friend Zane, Tarot Token Witchery, it's 6 cards. It may be similar to the one Chris from Elemental Cartomancy does. And tell me about yourself. It's 6 cards. Tell me about yourself. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What can you teach me? How can I best learn from you? And what is the outcome of our working relationship? So, Chris, if you're here, is that your deck interview? I mean, you didn't copyright it, but I think I don't know if that, I get it from Zane, because we'll do that. So, Mark, AstroTerra said, I actually bought the Tiny Traveler because of one of your casuals. I feel it was a responsible purchase. Very good. And Patrice said, you do a great job with all of that, Gerald. It makes doing and watching a deck casual with you so fun. Thank you. And Tony wrote Chris's down. And Chris has probably got other things to be doing. So anyhow, these, and here's the thing, again, these are things that I do to prepare for a deck casual, because I want to feel informed and be able to speak confidently about the deck and that I've used. So Okay, and this is Chris's. Tell me about you, your strengths, your weaknesses, limitations, what teach me, how work best, outcome. Great. Now, this is something that I do is I also consider if if this is a private or a public deck. And that being said, what does that mean? Well, there's decks that are just for me that I don't use with anyone else. There are decks that only I can touch, but I will read with for other people. So I do a second reading, and it's talking about whether or not it's a private or a public deck. Again, we have the overcomplicator, overachiever, but that's important to me because I have private decks. I have multiple copies of some decks because a certain version of it is a private. It's just for me, and some of them are public. So, uh, Mark Astroter said, I do those same 6 questions in an interview, but start with an overall, what do you offer me? Oh, that's nice. Thank you, Ack. Very insightful. So cool. A peek behind the curtain. Preparation is so thorough. Catch you later. Bye, Ack. Pamela said, I'm saying your deck casuals are so good because you also have your listeners in mind in what we need to hear. Aw, and no. Thank you. Thanks, Jane. So, wow. So, for those of you who are still watching, do you have questions for me that I might be able to answer for you? And I am, I am looking at more deck casuals. Like I said, I like the decks that have been around for a while because I want to be able to have a chance to play with them and use them. So, thank you, Ginger. And again, don't forget, I am a guest on Ginger's channel in about an hour. So, so thank you. This has been so much fun. I mean, oh my gosh, Pamela, what is your favorite deck right now? Um, okay, so right now around me is I have the Journey of the Sacred Bee, I have the Tiny Traveler, I have the Santa Muerte, This Might Hurt, and the Spacious Tarot, as well as the Muse Tarot. And so those are the decks that I'm using right now. And what I was actually thinking about doing is sometime I need to rotate the decks that are in my cart that are next to me. So maybe that'll be so. If you make it fancy, it could be a schnazual. That's good. Do the cards ever speak to you during this process? Oh yes, Susan. Susan Beckett, they do. And sometimes I have actually had cards that I actually, as I'm shuffling the deck, I leave it out because I'm curious about it, and sometimes it slows the whole process down. It just makes me go, well, you know what? You need to, I need to know about that a little bit more, and that's the kind, and it's usually a good thing. Susan is um, they'll speak to me, they'll draw me in, I'll get curious, and I will read I will read about the book. Sometimes I'll lay them out, and sometimes I've even written what the decks are saying to me, or what might be in a story. What dark decks do you have? Well, you already talked about one of the dark decks that I have, and definition of dark might be curious. Why do you want me to come on with you and Sandra? Weasel in on that one. So on TarotStache's continuing world tour. I like that B deck. I do too. How do you feel about a Dreaming Way casual? Casual. It's a deck I feel doesn't get enough attention. Do I have the Dreaming Way? Jamie, do I have the Dreaming Way? Maybe. I'm loving the Spacious Tarot. It was my deck. I mean, like my freaking deck. There you go. And Jane, the Secret, did you get the expansion deck that was just available? Pamela said my faves are in your pile too. Have you ever been asked to do a deck casual about a deck that you really didn't care for um, after doing your thorough checks? Yes, I have, and I have been honest with that in the deck casual. I'll still host it, but I get to be very specific about what it is that I'm struggling with. And in that process, it helps me understand a little bit more about why I am not, what I like in a deck. And it helps inform me to help me make choices the next time that I'm looking for cards. So, Dreaming Way needs more attention. Oh, gosh. Do I have the Dreaming Way? Lost Hollow. Oh, I have the Vampire Tarot, the Robert in Place, Tony. I have the Vampire Tarot, and I know Sandra has that. So, okay, Jane doesn't have it. It's available, and you have to pay attention to. They had some printing issues, so pay attention to where it is of when you got it. So, um, Dreaming Way. That is sounds okay. There. Now that being said, you know, believe it or not, I do know my limits, and I do purchase responsibly. Now, Mark, I'm going to be looking at the Dreaming Way. I've written it down. So, all right. Yes, I have the Dreaming Way. I do believe I do. I received some harsh comments this week for criticizing the deck, shaking my head. Oh, I'm sorry. It's the fashion deck. See that is unfortunate, Sadhana. I think everybody's entitled to their opinion, and um, it whether or not, you know, if you're articulate in explaining why you don't like it or where you struggle with. Oh, I'm sorry, Sadhana. So I I love it. Dreaming Way is mass market, so it's an easy and inexpensive to get. Oh, Jamie said, ignore me. There feels like a reason I wasn't getting the Dreaming Way, and I'm not sure why. I will look into it. I'm curious about that now. And do the vampire, please. I'm a non-vampire person, and I'm really curious about that deck. And this is the Robert in Place one. This is the one that's out of print. So that's an interesting question. Um, that's an interesting question. How do you feel about deck casuals about decks that are out of print? Do those or not do those? I mean, let me know. Leave a comment if you've made it all the way through to watch the playback. Um, so, but okay. It's a US Games. Jamie has linked that. And Mark has said 47 directional cards in the Dreaming Way, highest of all my decks. Okay, end of sales job. Jamie says, out of print walkthroughs make me mad, LOL. Have I ever made any of your own cards? I've made Oracle decks. I've not used those. Do those, never know, eBay. That's true. I get it mixed up with Tarot of Magical Moments. Okay. Sadhana said, explained exactly why. I think I'm getting more fussy as I learn what I want in a deck. It only took me 25 plus years. Well, you know, Sadhana, I think it's so important. we know what we like, and how many different readers are there out there, and that's many different opinions. It's like, oh my gosh. So I don't know. I'm sorry. That frustrates me. Hmm. I actually like honest reviews. I like an honest review of somebody who, when they're talking about the deck, they could explain what it is they don't like about it. And a lot of times people have an appreciation for it, but it's not for them. It's like, I really like that t-shirt. It looks great on you. It doesn't look great on me. Jake said Robin Wood is my favorite. Calla Lizzie likes them. Um, Tony says, I like them because I can't be tempted. True. Jamie said, Sadhana, I think you should be able to express yourself freely. If someone doesn't like it, tough cookies. Your opinion is your opinion. Yeah. Jake said, I prefer decks that don't stray heavily from the RWS. Sure. It may be a little like books. You find the kind of authors you like after a long time in reading. Yeah. Patricia said, I made a catalog list of my decks and books. Makes life easier. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Honesty is key. So, inside, and Jamie is like going, I don't have to agree with you. That's what makes great conversation. I want to hear what someone else thinks and why regardless. And that is something that's really important. We will end on this. That is perfect. Is these deck casuals, when I do them, it is a respectful conversation about tarot cards or a deck. A respectful conversation. I want people to feel heard. I want to feel heard. And as a host, that's my goal, is especially if a creator is on, I want a creator to hear how people are using the deck and what the response is. So that's really very important. Yeah. And Sadhana, Jamie, it's important. Love the conversation. We learn so much from each other. We do. And it is one of those things where, like I've said, usually in every deck casual, there's a time when I say, I didn't know that. Now I like that, or now I understand it. It's not necessarily I like it, but I understand it. And I get the benefit, and I hope you do too, in watching these in the playback, is I get the benefit of everybody else's perspective because it helps to inform me. So yes, I love it when creators say, I learned so much for your interpretations. It's true. It's very true. And respect, yes, absolutely. I can listen to you and I cannot agree. And that's where I can do a deck casual with a deck that is not my favorite, and it be a good deck casual. Let's do it. So anyhow, everybody, thank you so very much. Oh, Micah, I appreciate that. Y'all, this has been wonderful. I am going to jump off here, take a little break before I'm on with Ginger Faye at 4:30 Eastern on Ginger Faye Tarot and Divine Musings. And then I have a deck casual tomorrow with Andy the Wildflower. Oh, where did I do with it? Andy the Wildflower, Crochet Witch Tarot, and Jamie Wandering Mountain Bardic Path. We are talking about Andy's The Tarot of Feelings. I'm also reading with Jonathan Daly and Betsy, medium Betsy Palmer, tomorrow. There also might be some extra stuff tomorrow, maybe. Tomorrow's going to be a fun day. And on Wednesday, I am with Rosemary at Good Journeys Tarot. We're talking about the Santa Muerte Tarot. So everyone, thank you so very much. I do appreciate you being here. You all are wonderful. So thanks very much for watching. Bye.